Good afternoon and welcome to Friday with Fiona. I am actually recording this because today is Thursday and I was due to have my boiler repaired today, but the engineer is off sick and he's promised to come tomorrow, Friday, which means I have to stay in all day and I don't know what time he's coming. So you can guarantee he'll come right in the middle of my Friday with Fiona. So I thought it's probably safer to record it and then it'll be there ready for you on Friday. So I'm going to switch to, I have no updates on anything. Hubby's still in hospital, not allowed to visit him. I'm trying to stay positive, but it's tough. The boiler's not helping because I'm not sleeping well. So I do appreciate all your patience and your lovely thoughts and nice messages. So thank you. Right, let me switch to camera. Okay, so I've got three fun folds for you today. Two of them I don't know. Well, this one, the first one, I got a new desk, so I had to get everything out of my craft room, and the desk was put in. It's an L-shaped one, which I'm loving. Also white, which I'm loving, and so everything went out into the spare room, and then I've gradually been bringing it back in. I've got rid of some stuff, and I still have stuff to find homes for. Or be ruthless and get rid of. So when I was doing that, I found this card, which I believe was made in 2020 with the whale punch and designer series paper. And yeah, I just thought it's a bit of fun. So when you open it, you've got a scene in there, and then it will stand up. It will stand up like that, or you can look at the outside, entirely up to you. So yeah, so I worked out the measurements for that. Let me put that. I'm not going to cover hubby up. Let's put that there. Okay. And I've decided I was going to use it's the Cute as a Bug paper, and then the dies and stamp set are called the Sweet Bugs. I couldn't find them when I first looked, so I was looking under C for cute, but that's just the paper. So I've hopefully got everything ready. Need to make sure I've got my measurements there. Okay. So I'm using Mossy Meadow. I thought it was Old Olive, but it's not. It's Mossy Meadow. So, and it's in inches, so I apologise. I can try and tell you what it is in centimetres. So this is a piece of card that's 8 by 5.5, which is 20.5 by 14. And then it's scored at 4.25, which is the 4.25 bit. That bit, the big bit. 4.25, which is 10.8 centimetres. So when you fold it, you've got a short side, which is actually your front, and then a longer bit at the back. Is that right? I think so. But anyway, that's the way I've done it. Then I've cut my designer series paper. Oh, there's another piece of cardstock, which is 5.25 by 5.5. So that is 13.4 by 14. So the 14 is obviously going to match that. And then I've scored it at 1/2 inch, which is 1.2 centimetres. 4.25, which is 10.8, and 4.75, which is 12.2. And then I took one of the perennial postage dies and I cut that. So in my original one, I had a circle, but I thought we'd go with something a bit different today. And then you just need to take your bone folder and make sure you've got really, really good crease on your folds. But before we put that on, I want to, so this is going to be my front. This is a piece of basic white, which is 9 by 13.3, and then that is 8.5 by 13. So I just wanted to have a smidge of white around the edge like that. Yeah. So, and then I've got another piece of designer series paper, which is 10.2 by 13.3, and that is going to be on the inside. But what I want to do is I want to I want to have my join underneath the designer series paper. So we'll do that. In fact, let me do that first, green glue, and then we'll decorate the rest of the card. And I tried to get my thing in the middle, because when I was doing my practice one, I did use a circle, and then I put it in and I realised that it wasn't in the middle and it was actually down at the bottom and it didn't look right. So I'm going to, that's one thing I have lost, is my silicone mats. I'm sure I found them, but I have no idea what I've done with them. So, okay, so that's the furthest bit. So this was the 4 3/4 crease score mark, and that's going to go right on the edge. I'm going to put that flat and make sure it goes to the edge, like so. There we go. So now I can put my designer series paper. That might be quite nice actually. Where does it? Oh yeah, that's quite nice. I wasn't going to do that, but yeah, let's go with that. I was going to do that side, but do that. Beautiful weather this week. School holidays, really, really lucky, but I think it is going to start getting colder. I didn't have any heating over Easter weekend, and I have to say, I was okay during the day, but at night, crikey, it was cold. Anyway, he came on Tuesday, got it working, albeit I've got a bowl which is permanently getting filled with drips. I was not sleeping very well. I had to empty it a couple of times in the night last night. And I was thinking, yes, it'd be the last night. I won't get a good night's sleep. And then I got a phone call to say he's off sick. So, okay, there we go. And then this bit is going to go here like this. Oh, maybe I've done that wrong, have I? Yes, I have done it wrong. Okay, so learn by my mistake. Basically, it should have gone on the shorter bit, not the longer bit. My mistake. So how are we going to do this? So this is going to be, oh no, yeah, it'll still work, but it's not. It should be on this side of the score line, and it's not going to be. So do as I say, not as I do. So I basically turned my card base the wrong way around. I can try it. No, it's not going to work. Right, I'll get all that off in a minute. Yep, so that is how not to make this. I don't even know what the name of this is. I've seen it quite a lot, but right, I'm going to fold that down and put it this side of the score line. Line that up. And then I'll take my eraser, glue eraser. The other thing, if you've got like this glue, is to take your embossing buddy from your heat embossing. Once it's dry, not when it's wet. Yeah, I'll do that now actually, because it takes away the adhesive, and then I'll get that off later. Right, so it's, as you can see, it's not working because it should pop up like this. So what I've done, it should have been this way, and I've done it this way. So yeah, this one is a disaster. Learn by my mistakes, but I'm still going to decorate it. That's going to go on the front there, and what I'll probably try and do is pull it all apart later and remake it. So just want a smidge of white to show. There we go. And then pop it on with some more wet glue. And this is going to decorate the front of our card. And then I cut out, from the designer series paper, I cut out one of the card fronts that they do, and I used the perennial postage. I didn't have one this square, so I did the 3 sides, and then I put it back in and did the 4th side. And I've got some pretty and pink cardstock, which I'm just going to glue that onto, and then we'll put it on with dimensionals. Sorry if I keep going off screen, my camera stand fell apart just before I started. That's what they say, isn't it? It never rains but it pours. There we go. And then that's going to go on with dimensionals. If you missed it, I did do an unboxing for the virtual scrapbooking retreat, which is 29th of April. So I'm looking forward to that. I've got my box and it's got some early bird specials in there. So we can't order the shimmer in colour brushes at the moment. They're not available. I assume they're stuck in China or somewhere. Hopefully they'll be ready for the catalogue when it goes on sale on the 5th of May. But in the virtual retreat box, we have the Golden Glow shimmer, which is fabulous, and 2 white gel pens, which I think is really exciting. Okay, so I'm just going to centre that, put that on there. And then I've got a couple that I had previously die cut. I'm just going to, he's a bit big actually. Come on, Ladybird. Yeah, let's just pop you on there. I'll keep him for another time. So I just want a dimensional. There we go. Cute. Unfortunately, I didn't do it properly, so it hasn't worked. So let's go back to the original. I will redo all my card cutting and I'll film a one-off of that so that you can see how it should go, which is not going at all. Yeah, okay. So apologies about that, but you know, it's good to see how not to do something occasionally. Yeah, I will redo that. I do apologise. Keep my measurements for that together. Okay, right. Might help if I put my glasses on as well. Okay, so the second card is using these card bases, which come with matching envelopes, embossed designs, and you've got stripes or spots, and they are on the last chance list and they are reduced. So that's a good time to get them if you'd like them. And basically I'm taking 2, so I've got the envelope with the dots. Can you see the dots? Just there. And I've got 2 of the cards with the dots. And all I've done is, that's how it should be. I've bent it back the other way and then I've scored the front panel in half. So it's 11, so I've scored it at 5.5. And then I've done the same with that one. And all I'm going to do is glue one on top of the other. And then you get a 3-panel card. Okay, so this is simple. Famous last words, I know. Okay, let's use some Seal Plus on this because we want to make sure it stays still there. And I'm using the Sweet Buds again because the bluebells are out and I've just got some bluebells in my garden, and the new in colour Hyacinth Hue is perfect. Look at those. Aren't they gorgeous? Really, really love them. So, right, so I'm going to be gluing this one on top of the other one using Seal Plus. Okay, so I'm going to line that up against the score line and make sure it's even with the bottom. Pop that down. Yeah, perfect. So there we've got our tri-panel card. See how easy that was? Just need my bone folder to get those. And I like the embossing effect, so I didn't want to cover that up with designer series paper. So I've used the Nested Essentials dies, and I cut the second largest and third largest, and they're just going to go there. I haven't made this before, I'm just doing it on the fly. So let's glue that one to the top. I have found holding it this way gives me a much better grip on it. Famous last words. Right, let's pop that on there. And the green is Granny Apple Green. And then I've coloured this with Hyacinth Hue blends. I've got some Hyacinth Hue ribbon. I've got 3, so I might not use all of them. And then this is just going to be glued onto the one side. I could use dimensionals, but I'm going to use dimensionals for the bluebells, so I think I'll just put this on. So I'm just going to glue on one side. Okay. And I'm just eyeballing it in the middle. There we go. And then I do want, so I'm going to put one inside here, and I'm just going to use Tombow for that. A great idea would be to use the mirroring technique, which if I had my silicone mats I could show you, and then have one, so that one facing that way and another one facing that way when you opened it, which would be nice. But as it is, I'm just going to pop this on with dimensionals. I've got some mini dimensionals somewhere. I think I'm going to need a half of one. Just for there. Okay. I do love bluebells. And the blossom is out and the trees across the road. Really, really like spring. I hope it's not going to go too cold. And right, so then that is going to go in the middle. Like so. And then I've got the in colour gems. And I'm just just going to pop 1, 2, 3. And again, I haven't put a sentiment on it, so you could do it for, and there you've got inside, you could do it for a birthday or anything. I really do like that. It's just a really quick and easy fun fold. And if you've got, like me, you've got lots and lots of supplies to use up, that's a great way to use it. And it will stand up like that. There we go. Oh, I haven't put my ribbon on. Let's put my ribbon on. Just going to pop that on there with a glue dot. So I already tied the bow because trying to tie bows on camera are, must make it a little bit smaller if I can. Okay, so a glue dot. Might take 2 glue dots just to be safe. Put that across there like that. Lovely jubbly. I do like that one. Getting low on glue dots. Right, so, and then that will go in the one with the embossed. Yeah, I love that. I have got some birthdays coming up actually, so it's handy. Okay, and then my final one. This is I'm getting ready to launch my in colour club, and so I'm making it in all of these colours. So far, I've made it in the I can't remember the names at the moment. Hyacinth hue. That is really difficult to say. Hyacinth hue, and the golden glow. So these are blueberries, but I'm pretending, yeah, blueberries in that colour, but I'm pretending that's that could be a mango, okay, in the golden glow. And the flowers and the sentiment are from the Filled with Sweetness stamp set and dies. So there's the flowers and the blueberries, but as I said, and on the crisp cantaloupe, which is the one I'm going to make you, I think we'll call them slightly unripe tomatoes. So I'm going to show you how I've made this. I saw this on YouTube by Jennifer Hill, I think her name is, One Crafty Sister, she's called. So she did it using a completely different set, but I really wanted to have a go at the apron. She did the tops of the apron like this, which I have to say, with my arthritis, I found really, really tricky. So on this one, I punched a hole and put the ribbon through to make it like the top of an apron. The only problem with that is you can see it at the back. So with the crisp cantaloupe one, I've thought of a workaround and I'm going to try it. So I've got everything ready. So it's half a piece of A4, so that's 29.6, scored at 7.4 and 14.8, because it is going to be an easel card. I've got two pieces of basic white. One matches the card, so it's 14.8 by 10.5, and then the one that's going to go on the inside is 10 by, should be 14 point, yeah, 10 by 14.3. So that's going to go on the inside. So let's do that now. Whoops, daisy. Let's move these out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. I have to say, I wasn't sure about crisp cantaloupe, because when you see it on the screen, you can't really, it doesn't really do it justice. But I have to say, because I think it's probably closest to Calypso Coral, and I'm not really a coral orangey girl, despite my granddaughter's favourite colour being orange. So that's your inside. And then also for the inside, I've got a piece that is 3.6 by 10. And then the designer series paper, which matches, is going to match my apron. So I need to make sure I've got it the same way around, that way. It's going to go, right, okay. Now what I did before was I cut a little bit from each end to try and line it up. This must be 10.5. Yeah, it is. So I want to cut 1, 2.5 off at that side. 2.5 off at that side. And then I'm going to need to make sure when I do my apron, in fact, let's leave that till we've got the apron on. So I have, these are my blueberries, but let's say they're not quite ripe tomatoes. Let's give them a bit of a curve. I've got my flowers somewhere safe. Where did I put my flowers? Oh, why didn't you know it? I've put them somewhere safe and now I've lost them. They're in a bowl. Oh, they're in a bowl. Here we go. They're in a bowl. I am really loving that hyacinth hue. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so to make the apron, it's really, really clever, this. Originally, let me get them out. I used the Everyday Arches. And I think it was the third largest I did. And so you need to put your designer series paper onto your, because this is not thick enough, that's the other side, needs to go onto the basic white. I think that basic white needs to be trimmed a bit as well. So, but what I want to do is keep the bit where the apron string is going to go, which is right here. I want to keep that not from being glued. So this is trial and error. Let's see how we go. So I've kept that bit there, and then I will glue that down afterwards. So let's line that up on the basic white, and it's just regular basic white, not thick. And then I will just trim that. A little bit too long. Perfect. There we go. Okay, and then it needs to be, so that's the bit I still got, yes. Right, okay, it needs to be ruler, pencil, 1 1/8 in, which is actually that white line there, and I think it was 2 1/4 down to there. And then what you do is you take your Everyday Arches die and you put it over the pencil marks like so, and you can die cut it or draw with a line. Then once you've done that once, which is what I did, you've then got, so this is from my hyacinth hue one, you've got your corners and you just draw a pencil line around them. So I'm just going to do that now. just checking if you, I might not have been in camera. So the original one was done like so, okay, and then drawing a line, and then either die cutting or cut it. I cut it rather than, and then you've got your two corners that you can use again and again, which is what I've been doing. So now I'm just going to draw a pencil line. Whoops. Around, line it up. Okay, I'm going to keep those because I've got another one to do, and then I'm going to cut that out. So I've got my big scissors. I did do it with the little ones, but I do find it easier with the big ones. And I'm just going to follow my pencil line around. And I'm actually moving the card, not the scissors. There we go. I'll keep those for next one. And then if you've got any pencil lines like I have, just take your razor and get rid of them. Oops, daisy. Knocking things on the floor. There we go. Right. Okay, so now I've got my little 1/8 of an inch punch, and I'm gonna, so I should still be able to access. So if you remember, this is where I didn't put any glue. Yes, in there. So that's perfect, because that's where I'm going to put my ribbon. So I'm just going to make my little holes. How far down did I? Right, I didn't go too far down. And then I'm just going to line that up. Okay, and I want my, oh, it would be the one at the bottom, which is not open. I can see a bit of sellotape there. On the others there was an end, but it doesn't seem to be. Right, let's get the scissors. There we go. That's what I'm using those big scissors for. And I need my ribbon scissors. And I'm going to pop this through. And I just want it to go through the, paper, not through the card. It's going to be tricky. And you need to use the tweezers to get it through, I think. That's it. It's through that side. And I don't want a great long bit. I'm going to put it down underneath there, like so. And then I am going to probably cut it longer than I need it to be, just so I've got a bit of room to play. And then I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. Yeah, this is way too long. Just trim that off a bit. Okay. So the same thing again, and I need to get it through this hole. If it doesn't work, I'll have to go back to the original, Jennifer's original design. But personally, I think I did find it very, very hard to make it, and I should be able to get this through. It's just because I'm on a video. Okay, need to scrunch it up and push it through. Okay, it's gone right through, but that's okay. What I can do is pull that through and then pull it in. There we go. And push that underneath. Maybe a little bit longer. Push that underneath. Make sure it's not twisted. This is probably the hardest part of the, which it is twisted. There we go. And then I'm going to glue this down. And that was the other mistake I made. I punched through both, but that's okay. You can see the ribbon, but it's not the same as, I'll show you the other one in a second. Just make sure. Oh, everything's tacky and yeah. So on my Golden Glow one, you can see on the back, which I've stuck down with some sellotape. And that is what I'm trying to avoid. So on this one, all you'll see is the little holes, but you could actually just do the holes. In fact, I think it might be an idea to do the ribbon before I do the arms, this bit here. So I've got one more to do, so I can try that and see which is. Okay, so back to our card base. And that's going to sit on there. I've got the bit that's going to go across to hold the easel in place, and I need to line that up with my, which way round it goes. Okay, so it's going that way. Well, to be honest, I can work it out when it's stuck down. Just make sure I then stick it down the right way. Sorry, it was off camera there. Just putting a bit of glue on, and it's going from end to end of the card. The crisp cantaloupe. Lovely names. Don't like them, but cantaloupes that is. Okay, and I've got a little bit of excess there, so I'll just trim that off with my scissors. Right, and then I've got to work out which way. Yeah, so that's the way it needs to go. And I want it about 1/2 inch from, so I'm going to mark that with a pencil. There. And that's going to go on with dimensionals, which are here somewhere. No, that's the minis. There they are. I'd say this is probably, well, I would say this is the hardest project. Actually not hard, it's just fiddly. I think the hardest one was the one I got wrong, which I will redo and post separately for you. Loads of dimensionals. Okay. Okay, so I've got my pencil mark there, so I'm just going to cover that. Oh, hang on, let's make sure I've got it the right way around, which I hadn't. There we go. Just cover up that pencil mark. And then I'm going to pop that on just the bottom half of this, and then that makes our easel. It's not lined up 100%, but it's not bad. And I'm going to need a new glue soon. Whoops, I don't see. That was a bit skew. Oh dear, all over the place. Right. Getting there. Okay. And again, I'm going to line this up so that it's, let's show you what I'm doing. I'm going to line it up so that it's even with the bottom. There we go. Right, then I took Stylish Shapes, largest Stylish Shapes circle, which is 3 inches, and I cut off, so this is 1 1/4, and that is going to be our pocket. So again, that's going to go on with dimensionals. Lots of dimensionals today. And I'm just going around the outside so that I can, if you wanted to put something in it, you could, you know, stick some cash in it or a gift card. Not sure gift card would fit, but certainly some cash would. Or another little card even, a secret card. Okay, so that's going to go on the front of my apron. Just eyeballing it. That's not straight. Quick lift it up. There we go. And then this is using the Filled with Sweetness dies. I stamped You're the Sweetest and cut it out. So that's going to go on also with dimensionals. You're the Sweetest. Okay, and this is where I have my flowers. So I can get rid of my ribbon scissors. And here's my flowers, and my not quite ripe tomatoes. Just going to have 1 dimensional in the middle of those. And that's going to go there. And then I've got 5 flowers. You get 2 of the dies, so it's a bit repetitive, but that's okay. Oh, of course, I forgot to say to you, this is my Friday with Fiona free class to go. So when you spend £30 in my online store, I will send you the kit. So I wouldn't be able to stamp the fruits or the sentiment for you, but I'll be able to die cut the circle, the flowers, and yeah, pretty much everything else for you. And there. And if you spend £70, you'll qualify for the product of the month, which is a die this month, beautiful die, and it's only £5 when you spend £70. And then I will give you a pack of these, the in colour 2026 to 2028 in colour dots. And I'm just going to use the crisp cantaloupe for our flowers, because the reason for making these is to launch my in colour club. So if you'd like details of that, sign up for my mailing list, and I'll put the details of that below below the video, so you could, well, actually in the comments, so that you can make sure you get to hear the details of that. So basically, instead of having to buy all 5 colours and the blends, the ribbon, the ink pads, the refills together, I will send you 1 colour a month, and it will include a free class as well and a free pack of gems. There we go. So that's the crisp cantaloupe. This is Golden Glow, and this is Hyacinth Hue. Lovely jubbly. I'm so sorry about card number 1. I will redo it and post it as a separate video, and I'll post the link in the comments from this video. So, but you can see I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, same as everybody else. But thanks for watching, and I hope you like the projects. Where's the other cards gone? Okay, so we had this one. I think I'll leave the one that's gone wrong out. We had this beautiful one with the bluebells, and that's hyacinth hue. So that would make a lovely birthday card. Thanks ever so much for watching. Be back next week, and I haven't a clue what I'm doing next week. Honestly, my brain is just not working properly. Yeah, really struggling with that. So I will work something out, and I will be back next Friday. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.